Hey guys, it's Danny. Today we're gonna do a little review on this brine shrimp hatchery from Hobby. And if you've ever hatched brine shrimp, you're gonna be a little bit perplexed now because where are the bottles? Where's the air stone? Right? Something's off. It looks like a frying pan. Well, I was a little shocked as well because the last thing I need in my life is more noise. So, by the way, excuse my birds, they're very singy today. I can't really help it. We're gonna push through. Right, so recently I found in a pet shop a little fish. He's a micro predator. He's a Baris or a Dario. I'm not entirely sure of the variety. All I know is he's a little sick. He's here. He's in his quarantine. I'm gonna try to save him. And one of the things that I really wanted was to give him some live baby shrimps because I bet he would love to hunt them. Hopefully he eats. But I really didn't want to hassle with the inverted bottles and with the air stone and all of those things. I just removed the Biomaster and life is so good and so quiet now. And I've actually never used this product. And I was very intrigued because all it uses is just like this little frying pan situation here. So I saw a few reviews and people are happy with it. And I thought, well, this is the best solution. It might not be the best solution if you have a lot of fry to feed, if you want production, right? I don't know, maybe it's not gonna yield as much, but for a few little fishes, I have some guppy fry as well. I have this guy, I don't have a lot of fish to feed. For a small production unit, this might just be what I need. Right, so I actually filmed setting it up. And this is the second day. We're gonna take a look at some results so far. It hasn't been 24 hours yet, but throughout this video, we're gonna see how it works out. By the way, this is not a sponsored review. I purchased this myself. I found it locally, actually. So if you're interested, you can find it at your local pet shops, or you can try Amazon. I will find the link and link you to it down below. If you live in an area that doesn't have much diversity, such as my country, surprisingly enough, I found this in shops, then, we gotta rely on Amazon. What to do? I'll link it to it down below, but this is a very, very, very popular brand, actually. And I'll tell you a little story about the brand. But anyway, if you're interested, links below. But now let's go back to yesterday when I actually set this up. And throughout the video, we're gonna keep an eye on the hatchery and see what the results are. At this moment, I don't know what the results will be. They're promising, but by the end of the video, I will be able to make a better idea. So let's go back to the past, and then maybe a little bit in the future, and then we'll come back to do the outro. Alrighty, so here is the hatchery from Hobby. Fun fact, we used to sell Hobby like 20 years ago when I used to work in a fish shop, and it was, probably still is, it was a sub-brand of Dupla. Whatever happened to Dupla? I feel like I don't hear pretty much anything about it anymore, and it used to be a very reputable, quite expensive brand back in the day. Now, I don't even see it on YouTube or anything. They still exist on the market, but nobody's talking about them. I feel like Hobby became more popular than Dupla, and back in the day when we were selling Hobby, we used to tell our customers, it's a sub-brand of Dupla. I know you've never heard about it, but quality is very nice, try it. And now you don't need to sell Hobby anymore. It's pretty much everywhere, and it's a nice brand. Right, so that was a little bit of a tangent, but hey, I do tend to do that. Right, so as we can see, the device, pretty simple, right? Oh, there's something inside. Do we have a scoop? Yes, we have a scoop. That is nice. So this is the device. As we can see, no air stones, no nothing, no light. Well, the principle of this device is fairly simple. What we do is let the brine shrimp eggs just hatch by themselves without being swirled, let's say, by an air stone, and they will gather here, drawn to the light. Everything else is black inside, and only this part brings in some light inside. And from what I understand, well, we're gonna go ahead and do it. What we need to do is put the eggs and everything around so that the actual shells, which are actually called cysts. So the cysts remain somewhere here, and the brine shrimp accumulate in the middle where we have a little sieve. So with the help of the sieve, we just pull them out and feed our fish. Simple enough design, and hey, that's exactly what I need here. So let me just look through the instructions really quick, just to make sure we get everything right. I mean, pretty self-explanatory here. So what I will do now is prepare the water. I have here some dechlorinated tap water. I used my Seachem Prime, and I also have some sea salt here. This is not iodized. Fairly strange. In Romania, I don't think you can actually find table salt that is not iodized. It's a health thing, I don't know. But this one apparently does not contain iodine, so that's what we're gonna use. Now, from what I see in other tutorials, the best thing to do is to set this in the place you're gonna leave it. So don't move it around too much because those cysts will float and they will get into this little sieve, and that's not what we want. So I will be letting this one sit here, and to attract the brine shrimp, I have a little desk lamp that I'm gonna put here. No need for the light now. It should take anywhere from 24 to 48 hours for these guys to hatch, depending on temperature. So the recipe is 2 tablespoons of salt to 1 liter of water. This is 15 milliliters. This is what a tablespoon would be. So I'm gonna be not making a mess, hopefully. I'm gonna be measuring 2 tablespoons of this salt. 1, 2. Gonna stir it a little bit. By the way, in pet shops, you can actually find the mix directly made, even from Hobby. You can get the brine shrimp eggs mixed with the salt, and it's in an envelope. You can just put the envelope in. If you don't want to hassle with things of the sorts, it's not very efficient. So if you're looking for quantity, that's not an efficient way to go about it. Better to buy separate brine shrimp eggs and do this thing that I'm doing here. Since I don't need a lot of brine shrimp, I could have gone for one of those satchels, but actually somebody gave me some brine shrimps, so I'm gonna try to hatch them. Anyway, it's okay, the salt will dissolve. Now we need to make sure that this tray sits, and there is only one way to put it because this tray has indentations. I will try to zoom you in so you see. There's only one way to put this in order for it to sit. There you go, and it's not moving all that much here. The purpose of this is again to separate the cysts from the actual brine shrimp. So we're gonna add the water. I hope it's enough water. Yes, it is. We also have a little line here. You cannot see this, but trust me, inside you will see it written the level to which you have to pour water. If you pour a little bit too much, actually, you can dump it out, oops, and not make a mess. You can dump out slightly the water if you're a little careful and try not to make a mess, but theoretically you can dump out the water little by little. And then you can use the provided measuring spoon and add some brine shrimp. I have them in a little envelope, as I was saying. Somebody gave them to me for the purpose of saving my little fish. You can find them at your local pet shops, I guess even on Amazon. There we go. So I have a spoonful of cysts, and I'm going to place them on the side here. Brine shrimp can be fed to any micro fish, not only baby fish, and it's a great source of nutrients. My problem with the brine shrimp situation is that you have to prepare it. You remember the inverted bottle, those of you who are maybe older in the hobby will remember the inverted bottle situation that we used to do back in the days. People still use it and it's a great DIY, but you know what? As you might suspect, the last thing that I need is more noise in my life. I'm done with noise. I have lived in noise for almost 40 years. It's not funny, Maya. And I'm done. I'm so done with the noise. I don't want bubbling noises in my house. So that's why I was excited about this, and I want to try it out because if it works, I'm gonna be doing brine shrimp for my fish on a daily, well, not really, but maybe once a week. I will definitely do it because it's a great source of nutrients. Right, so now what we need to do is put back the lid. Mind you, you'll see on the lid, you're gonna have some writing here that say open and close. It has to do with this little notch here, where if you wanna tilt it a little bit and get rid of the cysts, you can if you position this opening over the spout. My English vocabulary, wow, I'm impressed. But it's also a light source. So when you're gathering or harvesting your brine shrimp, you want this in the closed position. I'm sorry about my birds, they're very happy today. So you have to put the closed part over the spout so that the brine shrimp are not attracted to the light here. This is only used to tip the device if you want to empty some water or remove some cysts. That is all. Put it in a warm location and the brine shrimp should hatch faster. It's very warm here in my environment. I don't need to speed it up. It's already summer here. So we're gonna pick this up when I'm gonna have some brine shrimp, hopefully, fingers crossed, to show you. And yeah, fingers crossed I can save my little fish. Alrighty, here we are, you guys. Can we see them? I can definitely see them. I ended up just placing this here because I kind of needed the disc, and also it's a little warmer in here. We have light from above, so yeah. But look at that, I already see baby shrimps. Look at that. So at this point, I can actually start to get a few of them and try to feed my fish. I'm gonna wait a little longer just to see how many of them I have. Typically what you would do, you would raise this and go with this particular sieve to the aquarium you wanna feed and just feed it there. But since my fish might be sick, I don't wanna contaminate this. So I will be using that little pipette and feed my fish with that. But yeah, I can see them. Can you see them? I think they're very visible. So I'm gonna wait a little bit more and then I'm gonna try to feed my fish. All right, this is now a little over 24 hours. And look how many brine shrimps I have. And for the very low effort it took, it is absolutely worth it. Again, if you don't have a lot of fish to feed, if you are not a grower, I think this is great. Noiseless, hassle-free, really, I'm very happy with the results. I can now feed my little buddies and I hope he will eat. And here we are 48 hours later and look how many brine shrimp I have. I'm quite impressed. I would say that is absolutely enough for my little sick fish and the few little baby fish that I have. It has my seal of approval. I'm very impressed and very happy that I have brine shrimp for my little Battis. Spoilers, he's eating, finally. Good boy! Or girl, I think you're a boy. Good boy! Good boy! Look at him go. Did not eat anything, you guys. I tried to give him frozen food, he didn't eat it. I tried to give him flakes and stuff, and pellets, he didn't eat them. This is the only thing he's eating. The first thing he's eating ever since I got him. I made him eat only this. He doesn't want to eat anything else, but I think he's gonna be okay. He doesn't have other symptoms of other disease. I don't know if I posted the video with him yet, but I will soon. So I'm so happy. It's absolutely worth it. Actually, you guys, I have a bit of an idea. I want to see if I can grow these guys a little bit more, just to make them more fulfilling for my fish. Now, I looked around on the internet and there are some videos on how you can grow these. It's actually super easy, but everybody hatches them and then puts them in a different container. I'm not gonna do that. We're going for functionality here, and we're gonna try to feed them directly in here, see what happens. If I spoil this batch, it's okay, I'm gonna do another one, no problem. Now I see people using spirulina to feed them or egg yolk. I'm gonna use this thing. This is so good. I'm using this to feed my baby guppies and it's great. It has a lot of spirulina and it is already powdered, so it should be a good food. Let's see if I can open this container with one hand without spilling it. There we go, just a powder. And I have a little scoop that I use. I'm just gonna put a tiny little bit. Maybe this is enough. I don't know if I see some commotion. I'm just gonna put a little bit more. There you go. All right, so I put a tiny little bit in there. We're gonna see if this feeds them and if they grow a little bit. If I feed my buddies a little bit of spirulina, it's fine. Nobody will mind. And yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm really curious. If I can grow these guys to a bit of a bigger size and make them last a week or so, you know what? That would be ideal. And if I can do it without an air stone, that's awesome. I'm gonna do this all the time for all of my fish because it's just so easy. There's no noise. Nobody will tell me, oh, that blasted air stone is bubbling in my brain. You know what I'm saying? It's a real issue, especially if you don't have a dedicated room. You have a living room, right? Okay, very excited about this experiment. We'll pick it up in a few days. Alrighty guys, this is 1 week later. I'm posting the video today. The number of the brine shrimp is dwindling finally, but I've been feeding my fish every single day from this batch. Now, I don't know if the brine shrimp grew any, if at all, because of that feeding that I did, but I might try again with a different container, you know, and maybe do it properly, hopefully without air stones, but definitely in this container they didn't grow that much. Maybe they didn't even have time. It's been 1 week only. So I will definitely be trying to grow these guys in a different container. I've also put some water containers outside, maybe get some mosquito larvae going for my little fish. He has been eating only this. I continuously tried pellets and everything. He doesn't want to eat. He only eats live food. And just to be clear, I didn't really mention or made it very clear. In my area, we can't just go to the shop and get live food. It doesn't exist. We can go to the shop and sometimes in a blue moon, we can find some live food, but that's not sustainable for the fish. They need food every day, right? So that's why I'm just hassling with the brine shrimp and everything, and maybe trying to make a colony where I can use it to feed my fish consistently, you know? So yeah, I will try my best to make a proper system going. I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube and I have faith, but this is not, I guess, the proper environment to grow these guys to a bigger size, but they have done their job so far, and here is where I will conclude my review. It is absolutely worth it for the price, and by the way, the price is not all that much. I think it's absolutely worth it. It's up to you from now on, but it does have my seal of approval. Alright, so that has been it on the hatchery from Hobby. I'm a little impressed, I'll have to say, even with the results that I have so far. As I was saying, I don't need a lot of production. And obviously, if you have a fish room or you're into the business, maybe this is not the thing for you. But honestly, if you just have a few fish or an aquarium or a few aquarium in your living room, and the last thing you, your wife, your husband, your significant other needs is more noise from your aquariums, this is the product for you, right? I'm very excited about it. I've stayed away from some microfish because of this, because I just did not want to hassle with the air stones, with the thing, with the noises, with where am I gonna put it? Is it gonna look good? Now I have this room, but soon enough, everything will be in my living room. Do I want to have hatcheries in my living room? Maybe I do, but my husband doesn't. So this is the product for us. Yeah, so that has been it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this. And if you're using this, let us know down below your experience as well. Maybe some tips and tricks that I could improve upon as well. Leave me your comments down below. And thank you so much for watching. Hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!